Test, 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 test. See, sometimes I just gotta tell it to go fuck itself and start over.
Nice. All right.
Now you came on. Let's make sure my audio levels are still good, and
Yeah.
that'll take 7 seconds to figure out.
It sounds good to me right now. So sounds like it's supposed to anyway.
Yep. Yeah, we're good. Okay.
All right.
We're already recording, so whenever you want to go, we're good.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone out there in podcast land. Welcome back to the Front Row Movie Reviews podcast in the latest episode of The Row Knows Nothing, our Game of Thrones recap weekly show. I'm Jeremy Geckner. Hey, haven't seen me in a while. I'm trying to remember exactly why I haven't been on the Front Row shows in a while. Scott, do you have any idea why?
You're stupid.
Yes, that's true as well. No, of course.
It's true. You were stupid.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I just welcomed my son, Gibson, Nicholas G. Geckner, into the world. He is 2 weeks old as of yesterday. He is amazing. Scott and Craig and the rest tried to warn me about the hardships of fatherhood, and I was not ready. I did not heed the advice, but I'm blown away. Thank you to everyone who's shown some support or said some congratulations. It is truly amazing. But I had to come back for another episode of The Row Knows Nothing, and I'm glad to be back. And of course, here with me, Mr. Scott McFarland. I don't know, the Tyrion to my Varys, maybe.
Does that mean?
Yeah, I regret that analogy immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe my.
Just as long as I'm not your Drogon to your Dickon.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe you could be my Beric Dondarrion to my Thoros of Myr or something like that.
I don't know half these goddamn names, so go ahead.
Yeah, well,
the reason why I know Dickon is because, well, he's Dickon. And alas, poor Dickon, we did not know you well.
No, we did not. Yeah, let's just jump right in. Obviously, this episode wasn't as action-packed as the last one, but a lot of things getting moved into place, as Scott said before we started recording here. Lots of pieces getting moved around the board to get set up for the huge episodes that we have, the last 2 of the season. So as usual, we'll just jump from place to place, and let's just start off right at the place where most of the action I think takes in this one, and that's Dragonstone. Actually, it's hard because let's start on the field. Let's start on the aftermath of the last battle, then we'll head to Dragonstone. So we've got the aftermath of the battle of the supply line, I guess.
The loot train.
Yeah, the loot train. Just so many charred remains. Drogon just went and wiped everyone out. An amazing battle last week. And we start out here with Tyrion walking through the damage and Daenerys kind of demanding and more kind of trying to plead and bargain with the rest of the Lannister soldiers to bend the knee and to support her. Scott, what did you think of this? I think this is probably going to be the most contested thing in this episode. Was Daenerys right or wrong in how she went about this? What do you think of the fact that we lost the Tarleys here in this scene?
Now that you took a breath there, I want to rewind to what you said 20 minutes ago.
Exactly.
I think it's cute that you think something big's going to happen in the next 2 episodes, because I don't think it is. They're going to make you wait 1.5 years. So have fun with that. But no, I've been saying for a while now, and I continue to say, sooner or later, Daenerys is going to have her ass handed to her, and it's going to be her own damn fault. And that's when she's going to have to decide if she wants to, go dark or not. And she continues to let her naivete continues to be okay with that, because it allows her to go through and think that she has some kind of being beyond everyone else, and therefore she cannot be wrong, and so forth and so on. And she continues to get her way as a spoiled little brat, and sooner or later, spoiled little brats get spanked, and she's gonna get spanked. I'm assuming by a whole bunch of zombies. That's my guess.
Might be, but you don't think that she's kind of been getting her comeuppance already in the first couple half of the season with the rest of her allies going down?
She didn't care about them. Every one of her allies that went down, she knew for all of 5 seconds on screen.
True.
I mean, seriously, because all of their allies were on the Westeros variety, and she didn't give a shit about any of them. The only allies that she actually built from scratch are still around.
Right.
So I don't think she learned anything from that, and I think John tried to point that out to her last episode.
Yeah.
In the midst of doing cave drawings before she showed up, he tried to point out to her that you're just going to turn into the exact same person. She tried to take the middle ground by not blowing up castles, but just blowing up. I don't understand how we saw 3 or 4 wagons and it turned into thousands, but I'll go with it.
Well, yeah.
But sooner or later, she's going to lose something or someone she actually cares about. And then she's going to get her ass kicked because it just has to happen. Because the good guys are not going to be able to walk through this next, 10 episodes we have left of the show.
Oh,
they're not going to have everything go well for them as it kind of has this episode for the next 10. So she's cruising for a fall.
Yeah, and this is an interesting scene because obviously the worry with characters like Tyrion and with like Varys and such, we get a great scene there we'll get to in a second, is that she turns into her father and that she starts feeling some of the madness that Aerys had inside of him. And honestly, in this scene, it's strange. The interview with the creator, Benioff, said that, it's funny that Cersei is kind of being held to a different standard than Daenerys when it comes to trying to win this war. It's almost like people expect Cersei to just be cruel and torturous and, mean-spirited, and that Daenerys is trying to win this, like trying to win the hearts of the people. And now, you get the scene where she's basically saying, I'm not what Cersei says I am. And I, just bend the knee to me. I'm here to try and bring peace and to try and give all of Westeros a chance here. And yet it kind of feels a little hollow because you have a giant dragon that just burned half the army that they were with behind her there. But I honestly thought that it's amazing how Game of Thrones can take a character that we hate on our first introduction to him. I'm talking about Lord Tarly, and then kind of make us admire them at the end of their run. Because, the reasoning he gives for not bending the knee to Daenerys is fine reasoning. I mean, it's not what I would choose, but, I can't fault him for it.
Okay, time out. Even Tyrion faulted him for it. Point out, dude, every 5 minutes you change sides, so what's stopping you now?
Well, yeah.
Oh, war is rough. And my character has to be offed right now because we got to show the fire again. So there's no real reason for me to be doing this because I usually change sides every 5 minutes. But we need to get the plot moving along, so I'm not going to change sides this time. Burn me.
Yeah, and actually, now that you mention it, he didn't want to.
Worthless.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm more sad for Dickon because, as you said, we hardly knew him, and even though the very first introduction we get to him at the Tarly dinner table, he just kind of seems like a Gaston-like character. He's just brutish and dumb.
His name is Dickon.
Yeah. Which I love that in the last episode when Braun just totally threw him under the bus. But that was kind of it was good to see Tyrion. I find Tyrion's inner inner struggle here to be the most interesting. Like walking through the remains of that battle and trying to reason with Daenerys to not kill the Lords of Westeros, to not kill another great house. It seems like he does have some trepidation in terms of all the things that he grew up with, being destroyed too. Or do you think he's just trying to look out for her best interests with the people of Westeros?
Yeah, that's the key. He's doing the exact same thing Jon tried to do last episode, and she's still not listening because she's dumb. They're telling her, look, you have to rule these people after you take over. If they all hate you, they're going to spend their lifetimes trying to kill you. And last time that happened, it didn't turn out well for your family. Maybe you should stop being a jackass.
So do you find a flaw in Daenerys's, like, if I take them prisoner, everybody else will choose that option too, and they won't really follow and kind of bend the knee to me? Do you find fault with that logic?
It's an ignorant decision, because either way they're slaves. You're trying to say I'm not going to turn them into slaves. Well, I hold a dragon-shaped gun to your head and say, do this or I'm going to pull the trigger. How is that not slavery?
Yeah, you're correct.
It's a false equivalency is what it is.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, after we lose...
I don't like Daenerys. Can anyone tell?
Yeah, I'm getting that sense. But like, so after we get the death of the Tarleys there, the rest of them automatically bend their knee like they should.
Hey, Samwell's now in charge of a house.
I was about to say, that's what I thought. I was like, Sam's Lord Tarley now. That's awesome.
And see, because I'm terrible with names, I had to turn to my wife and ask. I was like, so Sam's his brother, right? So, and we're like, oh, yeah.
Although, yeah, I don't know how that works in Westeros, because Sam did say his dad made him renounce his claim on.
It doesn't matter anymore. Sam's the one writing all the books. Just
exactly.
Throw the white out.
Good point.
Who's going to argue it? Everyone's freaking dead. Who's going to argue?
Everyone is dead. The only other aftermath of this scene was Bronn was the one who actually saved Jaime at the end of the episode last week. Yeah, and both of them, even though I saw the funniest meme that was just like Jaime went full on Heart of the Ocean at the end of that episode, and I thought that was really good. But I loved their little conversation. Just Bronn, once again, just proving he's one of the best characters in this show, I think. But let's head on over to Dragonstone. And
time out.
Oh, you want in on that?
You're not going to give me a second to talk about the best character in this TV show?
Hell, go for it, man. I love talking Bronn.
These guys... As long as him and the fish pirate, I'm blanking on his name too.
Sir Davos, man.
Okay, as long as those two guys survive, everyone else can die in this show. I'm okay with it. Because they both have the best lines. Last episode, Davos said, or asked Jon what he sees in her, Daenerys, and she has a good heart. I'm like, yes, I've noticed you've been staring at her heart.
Yeah.
And now we have Bronn saying, dragons are where our partnership ends.
That was the best line. It's just like, you mean we? Nope. No, I don't.
No, you're gonna pay my ass. I'm gonna follow you around until you pay me. Yeah. But we're not friends anymore. We're done.
Yeah, I draw the line at dragons.
I tried to kill the damn thing. I shot it. It still didn't die.
Well, wasn't that one of his lines too? He's like, "What the hell were you doing?" He's like, "In that dragon you saw between the two of you, you didn't see that." It was he's the best, man.
So again, as long as Bronn and Davos survive, I don't care about anyone else. I'm good.
Yeah. So all right, well then let's head on. Well, yeah. Let's head on over to Dragonstone, though. Lots of things to talk about here. The very first thing we get from the scene is Drogon flying up with Dany on her back and allowing Jon to pet him, basically. And obviously, we know what this means is that, Jon is a Targaryen, so obviously he's going to have a good relationship with the dragons there. Do you think that Dany kind of knows that, or do you think that she still just thinks this guy's special in some way?
You assume again that Dany is not just as dumb as a box of rocks. And sir, I have been given no proof in this entire 7-season run that Dany is not more than as dumb as a box of rocks. Everything that has happened to her has happened because she's been lucky. Not because of good planning. Look at everything that happened in Marine. It's all about being lucky. And
well, she pulled a pretty good trick on the slavers there with the first Dracarys, but
congratulations.
Yeah, one time.
But so no, what it is she wants a little bit of the Stark Putantane, and she's now that he likes gets along with the dragons even more so. But then of course Sir Jormon Cockblock shows up and
Captain Friendzone is back. Yes.
So, but Jon's oblivious. I love the fact that Jon is like, everyone's like, oh, they're gonna hook up. Jon doesn't give a shit. He's like,
yeah, he's just like, I got walkers to fight. I don't have time for those.
I'm not into blondes. I'm okay.
Well, it is cool to see. Like, I think a lot of people are predicting, rightfully so, that Jon will be riding one of the dragons in the fight against the White Walkers. And obviously his Targaryen heritage makes that possible. And then, of course, you were right. We got the return of, I'm blanking on his name for some reason. Ser Jorah.
That's my job.
Ser Jorah Mormont, Captain
Sir
Friendzone. Yeah, exactly. It was, in all honesty, though, I've always liked Ser Jorah. Really good storyline. Aidan Glenn, I believe, is the actor who plays him. Or no, that's God, he's Littlefinger. Let me find his name after I say this. But really good to see him back. I mean, like we thought that was going to happen, and it was a pretty touching reunion there. We don't get to see Daenerys drop her kind of queen, like Mother of Dragons persona much, and that was finally a shot where she did.
Yeah, and that's the whole. If anyone around them doesn't think that they're, getting together in terms of their crowd, and she doesn't hide it very well. He's trying to like hide it, kissing on her hand and everything else, while she's giving him big old bear hugs. Yeah, we all know who the favorite in the throne room is.
Yeah, exactly. But his character. This is the thing, though. I'm totally expecting him to die by the end of the year. By the end of the season, he's
gonna take a big old sword from the Night King.
Yeah, I mean he's so gonna die. I mean, just for the fact that the last shot when they row off is him like looking back at her. I'm like, all right, bye bye. I'm kind of surprised they didn't find a way to do it this episode, but
I need to throw this out here because when I'm proven right, I don't want it to be. Many people are now saying that they're going to be riding the dragons together. I have said for 4 freaking years, Tyrion, Jon, Daenerys, the 3 houses, the 3 dragons. I'm putting it on record again.
Well, there's 3 people who have been able to be around the dragons without losing their life, and those are the 3 of them. So, but let's see what else happened in Dragonstone. Here we got I think a really, really cool scene between Tyrion and Varys in the throne room. First off, I love like the whole play on that. It's a sealed envelope. Why I didn't open it? Okay, what's in it? Like I kind of like
Nothing
that.
Nothing
good. Nothing good. But this is again. I loved. I think that Mark Conleth Hill, who plays Varys, he does some great work in that short scene there in terms of him recounting his service to Aerys and, how he kind of justified all the murders that the Mad King did and how he's very fearful that Daenerys might run down that road again. What did you think of the scene between Tyrion and Varys?
I do like you can see on his face that he's realizing I'm kind of stuck here. We had that scene about 3 episodes ago where she said, I'm just going to kill you next time you do anything stupid.
Right.
So he's like, well, I'm kind of stuck here. So I've made my bed, and now my bed has bed bugs in it, so I don't know what to do next. Because he's seeing the exact same shit I'm seeing, that this girl is uncontrollable. She gets lucky a lot, and sooner or later she's going to get us all killed.
Right. And and that's what he pleads with Tyrion. You have her ears still. Like, you have to have her, like, make her find a way to listen to you, that, some of this stuff is not going to work in the quest for the Iron Throne. And, the rest of the whole, I guess the last big thing in Dragonstone, aside from some of the other smaller scenes, is the discussion of what to do about the rest of the war, which was basically, Jon says, I'm going to go up to Eastwatch and find and capture a White Walker so that we can bring it down to King's Landing to try and convince Cersei that this is happening so we can all stop fighting each other and concentrate on the Night King and the army of the undead. Now, I totally forgot about this, but they tried this once before when the White Walker got through the wall and Jon had to kill him in the keep there. They cut off a hand and they tried to send that down to King's Landing, but by the time it got there, it was all shriveled and dust from then on. So now they're going to try and capture a White Walker alive. What do you think of this plan? Because I think that this means we possibly might be getting the battle with the Night King in these last 2 episodes here, as opposed to the final season.
No. How are you going to get a battle with like 7 or 8 guys?
Well, yeah.
What's happening here is you're going to have the Dirty Dozen, and just like the Dirty Dozen, most of those guys aren't coming back.
No, they're not.
And Jon and a few others, because Jon's not going to die again, are going to make it past the wall, and they're going to head south, and that's going to be the end of the season. And the cliffhanger is going to be that Eastwatch is going to fall, and the zombies are going to be past the wall, but that's going to be it. You are not going to get a major battle between these zombies in here before the end of the season. You've only got 2 episodes left. You've got Cersei trying to maybe talk herself into helping them out a bit, but yeah, you're going to have the Dirty Dozen next episode, and then you're going to have one more episode after that. You're not getting your battle until a year and a half from now.
Yeah, and this is something interesting because I think a lot of people, me included, thought that season 7 and 8 were going to be one of them was going to be the battle for the throne, and one of those seasons was going to be the battle with the Night King and the army of the undead. Now it looks to me like the final season of Game of Thrones is really going to be kind of a mishmash of that. That we're going to have to kind of band together to beat the Night King, and then there's going to be some backstabbing Game of Thrones type stuff that happens toward the end to finally give us somebody on the Iron Throne.
Yeah, no, I still don't see Cersei making it to that battle. I don't think you can actually get everyone to work together unless that chick is dead.
Yeah, I agree with you, but we shall see. Anything else from Dragonstone that sticks out to you before we head elsewhere?
No more cave drawings.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of tied into King's Landing, which is where we're heading next. So actually, we'll save it for there. So let's head on to King's Landing. Obviously, the biggest thing that happened here that I loved is the Jaime Tyrion reunion. Peter Dinklage just once again shows what a world-class actor he is. Him pleading with Jaime to, kind of forgive him for killing Tywin, and it's really, really. Dinklage just has like this great emotive face, and it works there. Talking about he hated me just because of who I am. Do you think I wanted to be this way? And you could even see it in Jaime's face too. Just two really good actors going back and forth there. What do you think of the reunion of the brothers, the Lannister brothers there?
Yeah, I'm happy to see they're moving everything quickly. This is what I love about a show that knows it has a finite ending is. They stop giving you filler.
Yeah.
They realize, you have maybe 10 to 12 hours left. I'm guessing there's going to be a couple episodes. It'll be an hour and a half or so. Yeah. You have 10 to 12 hours left. That means you don't have much time to get all these pieces into play, and which is what this entire episode is getting people ready for the penultimate episode where usually people die. So I like the fact that they're making Jaime have to choose again, and of course he can't choose because Cersei drops the baby bomb on him. So, yeah. But again, sooner or later, I think Jaime's going to be the one to off the bitch.
Yeah, I think you're right, because that's going to. I mean, it was really good to see the reunion, but then again, I loved like Jaime finally letting Cersei know and actually kind of convincing her Tyrion did not kill Joffrey. So just get off of this whole like he killed our son thing. I know Jaime kind of always felt that, but then of course with Olenna's confession, but it still took convincing Cersei. So I mean, like, I don't know what's to come of this proposed like truce that even Cersei seems to be on board with now, but the fact that Qyburn was in there talking with her about something before Jaime came in, and I swear to God, I thought she was going to do something to Bronn, which I was really going to get pissed off about. But, I don't know where exactly this is going in terms of what her plan is, but she has a plan. She said we have to be clever. We have to fight them like we fought, like father would. Do you have any inclinations about what game she might be playing here?
I don't think she's as many steps ahead as you give her credit for. And I keep bashing on the female characters, but that's because the writers can't write female characters. So everyone can say I'm being sexist because I bash on the females, but the females right now, all three of them are in charge of their respective lands, and all three of them are being stupid. So there's not much I can do about that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to join you in that when we get to Winterfell.
She plays off the whole, I knew what was happening before it happened. I knew Bronn knew about this. But I didn't know that my kid was killed by an entire other family because I have no ability to find out where the poison was bought from or anything else. The bald guy with no dick would have figured this out in 5 minutes, but I can't figure this out. So I don't think she's as smart as she lets on. I still don't even know if she actually truly knew that Bronn did this. She just knows that Jaime has a really terrible poker face. So if she mentions Bronn and he gives her a look, she knows he did it. So I mean, I really think that she's been cut off. About 4 or 5 people in this place talk to her without fear of being killed, and one of them's already dead. And so she's just kind of playing as she goes. I think she's making the smart move in the fact that she realizes she can't win this thing, so she has to get together with everybody, and hopefully the other 2 groups die in this little whatever the heck is going to happen, so we can just take over anyway. And if not, I have another child that can get killed some other way, being stupid later on down the road. So, yeah. I mean, she's trying to hold this all together. but really, in the grand scheme of things, she's already lost. She's already screwed everything up. She was saying that we still have the Tyrell money. No, you don't.
Exactly. You have the Iron Bank.
It done got melted, and as soon as the bank realizes you're not on the winning side, they're not going to give you any more loans. They said 2 episodes ago, this is all about making smart investments. You are not a smart investment.
No, and that scene you're talking about, I love, like, Lena Headey's just such a world-class actress here, because that's Cersei knowing she's screwed, but she still puts on the brave face even when she's talking about how screwed they are. Like, she's still putting on the I know everything, I'm confident face. And like, like she's trying to rationalize, oh, we have the Iron Bank, we can hire mercenaries. And Jaime's like, no mercenary is going to stand up against a dragon. Oh, and she has 3 of them. So it's just like they know that they're kind of screwed here. And it's going to be interesting to see what plan like she and Qyburn are trying to enact here. But it does seem interesting, like and the other big thing that happened at King's Landing is we met our old friend Gendry. He's back, Robert Baratheon's bastard son that Davos set free from the Dragonstone prison to get him away from the clutches of Melisandre. He is back. He was hiding in King's Landing all along, making swords, and now he's back for the battle against the White Walkers. Really cool to see him back. And I love, and this is where we'll jump back to Dragonstone just briefly, I love the conversation with him and Jon. It's just like the son of Ned Stark and Robert Baratheon, these 2 legendary warriors who helped defeat the Mad King, and now their sons are together, their bastard children are together. Well, not Jon, but he thinks it. So what do you think of Gendry returning here?
I'm very happy to see Lord Cannon Fodder will be here just in time to be cannon fodder. Although I do appreciate the use of a battle hammer. I wish they kind of use that more often.
That was brutal, man.
You knew as soon as those guys walked up to the boat that they were bound to be hacked. But no, I mean this kid, in another story where Baratheons mattered anymore, he could be like the one true guy to come back. But he has nothing going for him except for the fact that swords can lacerate you before you can swing a hammer.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, like, it is kind of cool, just the symbolism of, like the Baratheon and Stark clans, like, banding together, like, again, to fight for Westeros. And, I love that Davos keeps telling him, like, don't tell anybody who you are. And then the first thing he does when he walks up to Jon is like, hi, I'm Robert's bastard.
And another reason why Davos is smart and he's going to be the only one to make it out of this group alive is he points out, don't listen to me. I just lived to a ripe old age. Yeah, so exactly. I know nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still alive, you assholes. Both of your dads are dead.
Yeah, and there's that comment about how, like, Jon's shorter than Ned. And I was like, oh, come on, not in that way, people. But no, really, really cool there. But let's head on up to Winterfell. And this is kind of the most interesting development for me, is the fact that Baelish is now playing the Stark sisters off of each other. And in all honesty, I kind of didn't see this coming. I guess I should have, because it's Littlefinger, for crying out loud. But I think everybody always constantly forgets about how kind of like smart and ahead of everyone else Baelish always is on this show. But now he's clearly playing Arya and Sansa off of each other. What did you think of these sequences of Arya going full on ninja warrior on Baelish?
Okay, I like the fact that she can pull Batman every once in a while. That's cool. But again, in the annals of the writers can write really, really terrible rape scenes, but they can't write good female characters after that. You have Baelish go into a room with a guy. He had just said, "Is this the only copy that there is?" Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay, I'm going to go in the room and kill you now. And then Arya walks in. Oh, look, he left the only record of whatever the hell they were talking about underneath the dead guy. Are you that stupid? Obviously, yes. So whatever the note said, and I paused it, and it had something to do with Joffrey, and it's cut off, so you can't really – it's talking about how how she's talking to whoever she sent it to, saying that Joffrey's dead, blah, 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 blah. But, again – do you really think Baelish would leave the only evidence of whatever the hell it is underneath the dead body?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're stupid.
Well, I mean, and again, it just plays to this fact of sometimes we can just forget that Baelish is as smart as he is. I mean, he's been playing the game longer than anyone.
He doesn't have to be smart. These people are stupid.
Well, fine, but like the fact that you see kind of Baelish get his ass handed to him by Jon down in the crypt. Sansa kind of keeps putting him in his place in terms of like little quips here and there. And so you kind of start thinking of him as like, oh well, he's clearly gonna get dealt with at some point. A lot of people have kept saying for a long time Baelish might be the dark horse to sit on the throne because he keeps being one step ahead of everyone.
No, he's gonna get a knife to shit by Sansa. And by the way, Wikipedia comes to my rescue because there's geeks on here who have already updated it a few minutes after the episode aired. Arya breaks into the locked room and finds the scroll and discovers it is a letter from Sansa following the death of King Robert, requesting her family to swear fealty to King Joffrey. Arya leaves the room. So
I remember that. She did send that to try.
So it's basically trying to breed content between the two sisters because he's playing
showing that she was disloyal in one sense to try and get him to bend to Joffrey there. Yeah.
And Arya is stupid as shit enough to believe it, so she'll fall right into it.
Yeah, and it's funny. Like there was the scene I loved between Sansa and Arya in the chambers there of Arya kind of calling Sansa on her like fame seeking stuff, and like why aren't you standing up for Jon? And obviously the seeds are sown there, and Baelish's whole game is coming from just seeing the looks between them when Arya's fighting Brienne, and so it's really really cool here how it's happening. But again, I didn't really expect it to be that the Winterfell stuff was going to be Arya versus Sansa. I thought it was just going to be Sansa kind of fighting her own instincts and Baelish's influence to try and take power from Jon. So really, really interesting what's happening here. What do you think this is ultimately going to end up being? Do you think that Baelish is going to succeed in dividing the Stark sisters? Is one of them going to kill each other? I mean, what do you think is going to happen here?
No, I don't think they're going to kill each other. I think he's going to be successful in breaking them up just long enough to where Winterfell gets screwed again, because they always get screwed. Because Jon's nowhere near there. So not that Jon could stop this either, because I think Jon isn't exactly the smartest kid either. But none of them are going to be able to stop what he's playing until it's too late. They're going to knife his ass in the back, and he'll be dead. But he will have screwed things up for them once again.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they are. I think Ned spent so much time teaching these kids how to swing swords and shoot bows and arrows. He didn't teach them how to, read.
Play the game. Yeah. Well, and you're right. Like that's always kind of the downfall of the Starks in this show, is that they are honorful. They are the honor people in an honorless world, and that's kind of always what leads to their downfalls in a way. But let's head on to the final place that we visited here, and that is Eastwatch, which is going to be, I guess we could talk about the Citadel, but whatever. Sam leaves and, tries to get the Archmaesters on his side, but they're once again just too stubborn and pig-headed and highbrowed to try and do anything practical.
I do like that Sam is becoming... there are so many characters in this show that kind of, and I was just complaining about it with Daenerys and Cersei, going with whatever the plot tells them to go with. Okay, this happens, so now you have to go. Sam is the one guy, and he actually points it out, who is taking action for himself.
Yeah.
He could have stayed there and continued to be the guy who writes everything down, and he would definitely survive, and he would definitely have this insanely fast-growing kid with him. It's been like 2 years since he showed up. Timelines be damn, but he said, I'm tired of hearing about better men doing better things, and he's going to go off and do it. There is one character that is actually taking action for what he wants. There are a few others too. Jon is one of them, but I'm happy to see this character say, screw it, I'm just going to go do something now.
Yeah, and I hated Sam for so many seasons. I just, like, he drains plot lines, like I don't care about what he's doing. But now you're right, like I'm convinced he's going to be the one that saves the day ultimately in the end. And
he's going to be that dude from Harry Potter.
He really is.
The show is actually about him and not Harry Potter.
Yeah,
I'm blanking on his name.
No, but it's like one of those things. He's going to be, but he and John, you're right. Like it's amazing. Like those two friends from the Night's Watch are the ones kind of forging their path toward the real battle. But, and I do like, you're right, that he was just kind of like, screw this. You guys aren't going to do anything. So I'm presuming he's going to head to Winterfell and just be like, I'm going to find the answer myself if you guys aren't willing to. And
that's why he grabbed all the books when he left. But you're saying you didn't like Sam because he was a time sap, and you're happy this. But this goes back to what I was just saying. It's not really that Sam has changed in his character. He was always a guy who was going to get things done. He's the one who, brought the wildling and the kid back, even though he shouldn't have, because he makes decisions unlike other people. But the reason why you like him more now is because we are heading towards an end game, so there are no more filler episodes. Everything that happens in this episode, everything that happened in the previous episode, is happening to move the pieces one step closer to endgame. So there cannot be any more Sam's going to go to a brothel and do absolutely nothing for an episode. That shit's done. We're moving on.
Yeah, and I mean, just really, really cool. Like I think he's going to be the ultimate savior in the end. But let's head on up to Eastwatch, which is where we ended the episode. And you're right, we've assembled this motley crew of amazing camaraderie here. People that I never thought we'd see fighting side by side that are about to. John heads up there with Sir Davos, with Sir Jorah Mormont, and with Gendry, and they go and talk to Tormund. And once again, just Tormund shows how he's one of the best characters in this show too. He's so just like no nonsense and just says how it is about, like, he looks at Davos and says, like, isn't it your job to talk him out of stupid shit like this? And he also says, like, which queen do you have to convince the dragon one, or the one that fucks her brother? Yeah,
because we are so stupid, we've got ourselves into this conundrum. We're two people who really shouldn't be in charge are in charge.
Yeah, exactly. But just again, I love that he once again tried to be like, how's Brienne? Huh? How's my lady love back in Winterfell?
Did you bring the big lady?
Yeah, the big lady. And I hate it because ever since, even before the season began, I'm convinced Tormund is not long for this world. I just know he's going to be killed somewhere in the next 2 episodes. And I hope I'm wrong, because I love what the actor Christopher Hivju is doing with it. But he tells them, like, okay, well, if we're going over the wall, there's some other guys I'm keeping prisoner here that want to go over the wall too. And it's those Brotherhood Without Borders guys, Thoros of Myr, Beric Dondarrion, and of course our old friend the Hound. So you've got a group of Jon Snow, Ser Jorah, Sir Davos, Gendry, Thoros, Beric, and the Hound heading off into the wilderness to fight the Night King. This is just the definition of a Dirty Dozen type of crew. What do you think of this epic team up as we ended the episode?
This is why I call it Gendry Sir Cannon Fodder, because even he's like, dude, these guys sold me off to die, and John's like, I don't give a shit.
They want to go.
You really don't matter. You have a hammer. You decide to come along. I don't care. So how about you go forge something and shut up?
Yeah, exactly. Make some more swords.
I do like the fact that the two Brotherhood folks are like, trying to be like, we have to go. We have to be there.
They're trying to be noble now.
And the Hound's just like, shut the hell up and let's just move.
The Hound has always been one of my favorite characters, again, just because of the brashness, like even when he was like killing the guys who killed all those church folk that he was living with, he's just like, you want your last words to be fuck you, like it's so amazing, like what he does. But yeah, he's just like, shut the hell up, Beric, like, let's just go. I'm done down here, I'm cold, let's go kill some people.
I saw your fire guy. Okay, what else do you want from me?
Yeah, exactly. But just a really cool team up there. But obviously, I think the biggest part here was the preview for next week. And I'm telling you right now, I think we're in for a pretty epic battle with that group of people next week. I don't think it's going to be, the big battle like you said there, but clearly they're going to come up against some really insane stuff out there beyond the wall. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how Beric lights up his sword with the power of the Lord of Light. I think. What did you think of the previews for next week, and where do you think we're heading with the next episode?
Yeah, I think we're going to get a Dirty Dozen episode. I think these guys are going to and we also have a little 300 type thing where they're all coming through a pass, and these few guys have to stop them. I think they will succeed in their mission. Not all of them are going to come back.
Yeah,
but I think it's going to be fun to watch. But again, I think the penultimate episode of a season usually is where we get the big battles. We had the battle past the wall a few seasons ago. Then we had obviously the Battle of the Bastards last season.
Yeah.
But in the end of the day, this is not one season. This is a final amalgam. So whatever we're expecting to happen in a penultimate episode is probably not going to happen. I think you're going to have a big fight here with these guys, but it's not going to be a huge battle. I think you'll be moving everything towards, like I said, in the final episode of the season. I think you're going to have Eastwatch fall, and everyone's going to go running, screaming towards Winterfell, and that's where we're going to end up literally a year and a half from now when they start season 8. Because they haven't started filming yet, kids. So it's going to be a while.
Yeah.
You're going to get Westworld season 2, and that's saying something before you get Game of Thrones season 8.
Going to get Ballers season 5. No,
I like Ballers.
I do too.
It is a guilty pleasure of mine.
I'll do anything with The Rock. I'll tell you.
Really?
Well, yeah. I mean, come on.
You'll do Jungle Cruise? Because you're going to
I
get
will
it.
do Jungle Cruise, sir.
Okay.
No, but okay. So I wanted to ask this one question before we sign off. Here is okay. So we've got this. What is it? 7 people heading up there into Beyond the Wall. Who do you think we're losing next week? Who's your prediction? Because clearly we're going to lose some people. It's Game of Thrones. So who do you think isn't coming back from this trek Beyond the Wall?
Lord High cannon fodder.
You think Gendry's the only one?
Gendry is going to die. The only reason why this poor schmuck gets put into this whole situation is so we have somebody we can kill that people know and people have known since season 1, but really don't give a shit about.
That's a good point.
Because everyone else has a following. Obviously, Jon's going to make it. Davos better damn well make it, or I will riot. Yeah. Jorah has to, I think he may get off by the Night King, but I think he'll get off later on. I think Daenerys has to watch him bleed out, I think, just for fun. But and you may be right. Tormund may be done because I don't think Tormund's last big effort was to go rebuild Eastwatch. Great job, dude. You got 5 people there. Congratulations.
Yeah, exactly.
You have more people in your cells than you have building the wall. Congratulations. So maybe Tormund's going to go. But at the end of the day, the only one I will put money on going bye-bye is I'm going to swing my hammer while you shove me through the gut with a sword, Gendry.
Yeah. So I think you're right. Like Gendry is a prime candidate there. I think just based on the law of diminishing returns that Jorah isn't there, and Tormund would be my other one. I don't think Davos is done yet. I definitely don't think the Hound is done yet. And I mean, I can see a place there where like Beric and Thoros, kind of bite it here. Then again, Beric can't die from what we know. So, I mean, it's kind of like, what exactly will happen there. But I think we got to lose at least 1 or 2 people next week.
Here's the thing with those 2 guys. They really don't matter.
No.
And so I really don't even care if they die. Beric's only reason for being there was 2 seasons ago to foreshadow that Jon's going to come back.
Yeah.
Okay, that's his only job, is to show that resurrection is real. It's Chekhov's gun. You have to have the gun on top of the mantle before you pull it down and shoot it.
Indeed.
So we had to see resurrection first before Jon came back. So his story's done. The other part of his major story, unless they shoehorn it in here in the last 5 minutes, is not going to be in this show like it is in the book. And I'll leave it at that because people haven't read the book. But the person who usually hangs around with him is not going to show up.
No,
so his story is done. So really, if they live, if they die, he's got a cool sword, but that's about it.
Yeah. So
and the other dudes there is give him resuscitation. That's about it too.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see. I think you're right. It's going to be a very crazy episode next week. So, all right, that's going to do it for this episode of The Roe Knows Nothing on Eastwatch. Only 2 episodes left in this quote-unquote season of Game of Thrones. Man, it's going by way too fast. I'm not happy with having to wait more time after these next 2 episodes. So hopefully they give us something really good to go out on. Scott, do you want to? Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, here's an interesting thing. Wikipedia is very good about updating, as I was saying earlier. They haven't announced the next 2 episodes' names, which tells me that either one, we just, they just haven't felt like announcing it, or much like Avengers Infinity War 4, if a title is going to tell you too much, so they haven't put the title out there. The other thing too is the next episode is directed by Alan Taylor, who can't direct a Thor movie to save his life, but he's pretty good about Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Oh, Thor: The Dark World, how we knew thee. No, so you're right. Like, this is going to be very, very interesting how we're going to end it here. Scott, do you want to tell people where they can find us online?
You can find us at the Front Row Movie Reviews at Gmail. That's our email address. You can find us at the frontrowmoviereviews.com. And you can email us at the frontrowmoviereviews at gmail.com. Be sure to like and subscribe if you are catching this on YouTube. Be sure to give a rating and give some feedback for us on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, whatever you're listening to this on. Please make sure to give us a review and to subscribe, because that's how more people get to find us. And you would love more people to find us, so we actually get some better quality.
Sure. There you go. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of The Row Knows Nothing. As always, tell us what you think of this episode. Do you agree with us? Is Daenerys the dumbest character in TV history? Is Gendry not long for this?
I wouldn't go that far. Starbuck from Battlestar Galactica was much... Just so I can get my sexism cred a little bit higher up today.
There you go.
Starbuck from Battlestar Galactica was much more stupid than Daenerys.
Poor Katie Sackhoff. Oh, man. Anyway, that's going to do it for us. Let us know what you think on Facebook, email, the website, whatever. But this is The Row Knows Nothing for the Front Row Movie Reviews. I'm Jeremy Geckner.
I'm Scott McFarlane, and you can send your hate mail to the Front Row Movie Reviews at gmail.com.
Courtesy of Scott. And we will see you in the front row and on the couch.
Bye-bye.